Notorious bandit kingpin Kachalla Ummaru has warned security agencies against using force to tackle insecurity, insisting such measures only fuel further violence. Speaking on Saturday during peace talks in Matazu local government area of Katsina State, Ummaru argued that killing bandits worsens the crisis. If today you kill 10 bandits, tomorrow you see 20. You kill 20, another 30 will rise both in our bushes and villages, he said. He accused the government of neglecting ordinary people, stressing that peace efforts must be based on mutual respect between communities, security agencies, and armed groups. Addressing the divisional police officer of Dan Musa, Ummaru said, if you want these peace talks to yield anything tangible, then every favor we seek should be considered and done. The same way we fulfill yours. The meeting conveyed by community leaders was aimed at fostering reconciliation in a region plagued by abductions and attacks. Elders urged both security operatives and bandit groups to commit to genuine peace for the safety of residents. The talks come just days after 28 abductees were freed in Faskari under a similar peace arrangement, a strategy that continues to divide opinion among policymakers and security analysts. I mean, when this, the first news with the peace talks happened in Kaduna State, Nigerians and social media went agog, especially because during these peace talks, you find these bandits putting on military uniforms, and they were usually severely armed with, you know, AK-47s, and sometimes they have the entire string round about them. What are your thoughts on this report? Let's talk about it. Do you think that these peace dialogues will in any way fix the problem? Do you think Nigeria has now started, you know, negotiating, as it were, with terrorists? Let's talk about it.
In this theater of absurdity, I would have wanted not to have a thought, but unfortunately, thoughts are not, at times, they foist themselves on you. You don't decide to have it, the thinking or not, the thinking just come. And this is one of such situations. Now, you know, I don't like it when these terrorist groups sound like Doctor Who. I don't know if you ever heard the story of Doctor Who stealing from the, as if they steal from the rich to give to the poor and all those things. That's dash. And then the question is, who conveyed this peace meeting? These are not freedom fighters or some people fighting for some kind of... Look at the name, even the name, the government, I mean, which is the name... I wrote something somewhere some time ago about how these armed groups have been Christianed across different regions. In the northwest, they are called, in the northeast, they are called insurgents, religious insurgents, and all that. In the northwest, the preferred name is Bandit. I mean, the government is the priest that does the christening and the baptism and all that. In the southeast, they are called, either they call them IPOB or insurgent also. In the south, which good for us is becoming much more peaceful now. They are called freedom fighters and whatever name they call them. And, you know, but the thing is that these guys are all doing the same thing. Only a few of them are actually like what was happening in the Niger Delta. You had those that were environmental fighters agitating for the environmental. Most other groups are criminal, especially in the northwest and northeast. These guys are criminal. So how did the government descend so low to organize? I've seen these videos and pictures you talked about of this armed group coming even more armed than the government. That in itself is even an insult. Coming to have a meeting with government and they have their full armor with them and they walk away. That will then the next day, the same government officials, whether they be security agency or whatever, comes up to tell us, oh, they are fighting against insurgency. Sorry, sir, you have no fight against insurgency. You had a discussion.
Oh, they actually say we are winning the war against
But you had a discussion with them yesterday. The guy winning the war don't even descend to having such demeaning discussion. These, as far as I know, these guys are criminal. And you see, this raises the question of justice and injustice. I've always talked about justice and injustice as one of the things that fuel crisis in the country. When you treat some people severely, like I think it was Senator Shehu Sani who said it, then for others, you use the re-insecticide or even fuel, sledgehammer to deal with others. Then some other people, you use perfume or deodorant, trying to apply deodorant on the insecticide, or sorry, on the insect. It doesn't work. The question of justice and injustice would always be there. What is justice in this now? What is justice? It's given to every man his due. These guys have killed people for no job. What was their reason for rustling cattle? What was their reason for sacking the communities? I mean, if they were fighting against government for the people, it's a different thing. You know that, okay, we cannot ask you what is your case. These are criminals. These people even deplete natural resources. You know, if you go to Zamfara, the mining site there is one of the issues there. So what are we talking about? When you treat them this way, you fuel the issue. Now you can imagine a bandit giving condition, talking boldly, and he came to that meeting armed, and he left that
with the arms.
He left with the arms, and then I mean, come on, this is a theater of absurdity. This is a theater of absurdity. It's not something you wish has happened. It's a bad dream that you wish didn't happen.
Do you think that with these measures we can actually really win the war? I mean, we've said a lot of times we're winning the war against banditry in Nigeria. The government has said we are winning the war, it's in control. But these communities, they set up these peace talks basically because I think they are the end of the bond.
Realistically, does it look like you are winning the war? I don't know your definition of the we.
Nigerian government, we are Nigerians. So if our government say we are winning the war against banditry, aren't we all?
I'm not sure about that. But the thing is, does it look like, I mean, I always use this allegory. It's like what they tell you that, oh, inflation has reduced. Beyond what the government and the analysts see, you as the ordinary person that steps into the market to buy things, do you feel things have gotten better? So you as an ordinary citizen that traverse the country for whatever reason, do you feel safer? When they say, do you feel safer than your parents felt 15 years ago? Do you feel safer than your aunts, or that even you with your living memory, do you feel safer than you felt some 20 years back? If you don't feel safer, so what is anybody telling you that we are winning the war? I understand where some progresses has been made and another, but if you look at it realistically, I think government is not even so much interested in winning this. So, I mean, government is not giving her best. There is this lack of political will for whatever reason. I don't know.
But one of the functions of government is to secure lives and property of the citizenry.
I don't think the Nigerian government was at that conference where John Locke talked about the functions of government social contract. I don't think, maybe the Nigerian government was missing in action. Maybe another of such talk, another of John Locke lecture will have to be conveyed to let Nigerian government know that one of their responsibility is protection of lives and property. I'm not sure Nigerian government is sincerely aware that that is one of their responsibility, or maybe they are passively aware and don't take it serious. I mean, look at what happens everywhere. Does it look like anybody cares about protection of lives and property? Even from the mundane thing to the less remote issues, even like things from the fire incidents that happens, and you have regulatory agencies and the incidents that happen in schools and all that. Does it look like anybody is conscious that he has a responsibility of protecting life and property? This is one question everybody can ask and answer for himself. So I'm not sure Nigerian government and maybe many Nigerians were around when John Locke spoke.
What is the way forward with banditry in Nigeria? How do we get away from this? Because, you see, I think it was last week, northern leaders were calling for President Tinubu to remove whoever is in charge of security in Nigeria, the security infrastructure, and put someone else because their citizens and their children and their families and their parents are being kidnapped. People were unable to go to their farms, and all of those
you want to convince such people who made that call that you are winning the war?
Those people, do you think that even using this is a strategy they want to use to find some peace since the government is not coming in for them?
If the ordinary person sit with these bandits to negotiate with them, I don't blame them. That's a survival strategy. Because they are their wit ends. They have nothing to do other than, appealing to the banditry. Since the one who was supposed to protect you seems not to be aware that he's protecting you. But where it becomes alarming is when the government have that meeting with these guys, sit with them. I mean, some of these guys have had previous meetings with the government. After the meeting, after some time, you hear that there was an attack somewhere. like that. So, unfortunately, whoever is in charge have to wait for a call to be made. And more unfortunately is that we even live in a system that call, I can guarantee you, without being a prophet, that call will fall on a deaf ear. Because, I mean, in insaner crimes, the guy, whoever is in charge, shouldn't wait for anybody to call for his resignation. You took up a job to perform. If I took up a job to be a French teacher, I get into the class to teach French. I realize that French language and teaching goes beyond comment ça va, I should check out.
Right, thank you so much.
But here, the guy stays put and wastes people's time and his own. Of course, maybe his time is not wasted. After all, he's earning his money.
Oh, his salary is meant to be increased.
And also, you know, maybe building political career the way we build it in this part of the world.
Really, really sad times. Hopefully, we'll get more favorable reports as regards this banditry situation in the north.
It depends on what you define as favorable reports.
Thank you so much for your insight on the report, Ikechukwu.